Given the recent clashes over the social media if foreign music should be banned in Cameroon, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be finding out from an artist or from those concerned if that should be the case. And good evening to you all. Thank you very much for joining us. As guest tonight, we are having Fcfa. He is an artist and an actor, and we will be having him live from Kuwait. Fcfa, good evening and thank you.
Good evening, Vanessa. Good evening, Financiers. And good evening, every televiewers.
Pleasure having you. Mange Venashus, you are equally welcome.
Thank you, Vanessa. Good evening. Good evening to our viewers out there. And good evening to our guest, Fcfa. It's a pleasure having him.
Viewpoint is a debate program divided into two parts. For the meantime, let us have the questions. In the first question, should music from neighboring countries be banned in Cameroon? Fcfa, I begin with you. Yes or no?
No.
Nashus?
I share the opposite view. I think it should.
Yes. Does the presence of such foreign music having any impact in our cultural identity? Fcfa.
Yes, it has.
Venashus?
Yes, Vanessa, it does.
Yes, it does. Let us have the debate. Once more, you are all welcome back. Should music from neighboring countries be banned in Cameroon? And given the recent trend all over the social media where artists are in conflict alongside some of their supporters over the concert of foreign neighboring artists that was banned in Cameroon, we are trying to find out as a whole if neighboring music be banned in Cameroon. Fcfa, as an artist, you think that that should not be the case?
Yes, that should not be the case. To me, that's not the option to have in mind, because banning neighboring music is like banning also Cameroonian artists from going outside. And you know, music is a global language. Everyone needs music. Everyone needs music. So if you ban foreign music from coming to Cameroon, it means we can never share ideas, we can never share the spirit of music, we can never share the language of music with other countries, which is probably not good. Yeah. That's what I can say. Because music is being felt by everybody. Music is a global language. So everybody is bound to listen to music. There are music from other countries which can inspire someone to forget certain things. There are music from Cameroon that can inspire someone in another country to forget certain things. So if we ban Cameroon music, or if they ban foreign music in Cameroon, which means other people who used to have such feelings will not more have them. Otherwise, if they ban Cameroon music from those countries, which means Cameroon music will be limited only in Cameroon, and artists in Cameroon will only be known by Cameroonians, and we should know very well that our population is not pretty good enough to pretty much enough to incubate only the Cameroon music.
In another way, or in another question, don't you think that actually banning this neighboring music will help Cameroonians to consume theirs, that is their own homemade music, and promote their own, as well as permitting these Cameroonian artists to live a better life? Because when these foreign artists or neighboring artists, they come in, they have a well-paid package as compared to when companies will have to solicit the prestation of other artists here in Cameroon.
In the shallow thinking, one will think that that will give so much advantage to home artists. But to me, it doesn't give great advantage, because the first thing is that Cameroon, that we already know, doesn't give much attention to the artists. Cameroonians love much of foreign music. So if they ban it, Cameroonians will still not even give the attention. Even if they give the attention, maybe the big companies that should be inviting Cameroonian artists that can even get the money or the attention that we need, the companies will still not do the same. When we talk, we think about big companies like MTN, we think about brasseries, we think about how much they used to pay foreign artists when they come to Cameroon and how much they can pay a home artist. People like Jovi, they used to have problems with foreign artists coming because they huge sum of money. They don't even pay Cameroonian artists half of that amount. So it is a problem. So even if they ban it, we will still not have that opportunity, because I feel that Cameroonians love much of foreign stuffs. They love more of foreign stuff, and they give priority to foreign stuffs, which is not good. So if Cameroonians can only cultivate that habit of loving their own, it will be the best. But nevertheless, we can always try to give them that sense of feeling their own, of loving their own music.
How can the artists actually help these Cameroonians to consume their own products, or what could explain why do these Cameroonians not consume what is being made home? What could be their reason?
The reason is quite clear. Foreign music, to me, like when we talk about foreign music in Cameroon, that is even disturbing the whole social media. We are talking particularly about Nigerian music, because Nigerian music is what is trending now in Cameroon. So I'm not talking, given things that we can do so that consumers of music should consume much of Cameroonian music, we don't need to follow what other artists are doing. For example, many artists in Cameroon use Afrobeat, which is Nigerian-based beat. So if we follow Nigerian-based beat, we will never do better than they are doing. We will never do better than they are doing. You will see artists like Mr. Leo, Salatiel, and Kosi, they use beats from Nigeria, but they are instead the ones who are like feeling uncomfortable with the Nigerian music. The first thing that we can do is to change the beat, like change the way we do the melodies in our beat. So if we want to succeed, those frontline artists, the front bench artists, they should learn to use our own beats. That is, they can use Makusa and make it an urban beat, like modify it to an urban beat. They can use Makusa beat and modify it, just like Nigerians did. They took many of African beats and modify it to make Afrobeat. So if Cameroon cannot use Makusa beat and brand it to an Afro to a modern beat, to a modern Makusa beat, will never survive, because we can never do better than what Nigerians are doing now. They already have the experience. They already have. In fact, they are not even trading again in Afrobeat. They are like changing our styles, like Afro trap, other stuff. So we are right behind. And if we keep following them, we'll never meet them. So we better go to our own genre of music and modify it, particularly the beat. Because if you play a beat in a nightclub, people will obviously dance. No matter what the DJ will say, people will dance. But now if the beat is not good, people will not dance. So I think if you are to stop all this, we have to start from the producers. The producers should learn to use the Makusa beats and modernize it, so that even an artist, and they should also impose that on artists, because an artist should not come fighting that foreign music should not be used in Cameroon, and they are using foreign beats. It's not called for, and it cannot take us anywhere. So my prayer is that all the Cameroon frontline artists should try to modify Makusa beats to suit us. Like it should also be our own genre that people should love. I mean, that's the problem.
That was it with $40. Back to you, Mange Venashus. You rather think that this neighboring music, for instance, that of Nigeria, be banned in Cameroon? Why do you think so, in regards or in relation to all what $40 just said?
Yes, Vanessa, permit me add something here, that it is not only about Nigeria, because what we consume here in Cameroon is, yes, Nigeria, it is there, but other neighboring countries, I like the term neighboring countries. If you listen to what is happening in our cultural landscape in Cameroon, you would realize that, like Fofidola said, we are like reproducing what is happening in Nigeria in Cameroon. It's true, we may want to, open the way, like he said, so that Cameroonian artists should also go out there and also, make names. But the reality of the ground is different. If you were to go out there and listen to Cameroonian melodies, Cameroonian beats, in other countries like they do here back home, I think it would have been different. But like they say, charity begins at home. In as much as other countries do not give Cameroonian music, Cameroonian artists, that priority that we give to them here, I think that we should need to, we should need to assert our own place, because when we open up, they say if you take leniency, if people interpret your leniency for weakness, it will become an abuse. And I think that they are abusing Cameroonian cultural leniency for weakness. They are considering it as we don't have. That is why we listen to, it's not only Nigerian beats. When we had Coupé de Calais here, it was the sing-song here. Ndombolo was the sing-song here. Go to Ivory Coast. Go to Democratic Republic of Congo. How many of them listen to Makossa? How many of them listen to Njang? How many of them listen to Bikotsi? These are typically Cameroonian genre. How many of them listen to? But when you come to Cameroon, just take a media outlet and you listen to the songs that are played there, here back home, you may get up to around 50 to 60% foreign music. Whereas in the other countries, you would get 80 to 90 local music and just about 10 to 7% foreign music. The idea is not to close the gap or to close the front between local and foreign artists. No, the idea is to make it in such a way that we also feel what belongs to us. Vanessa, I was discussing with a colleague here, and we were saying something here where you listen to them, they sing, he's a francophone, he's from francophone background. You listen to him sing, songs in English language, Westlife, Celine Dion in English language. And the question I was asking is, do you really understand what you are singing? He didn't. But then he sings. But the problem here is, if out there they can also sing Bikutsi, I would understand. If out there they can also take the songs, the tracks of maybe Mistral, the songs of Mr. Leo, the songs of
the Daphne,
the Daphnes, the Bendikas. I mean the typical Makossa in Douala or the Bikutsi in Ewondo, Yaoundé. I would understand that there is this harmony. Why should the harmony be one side? Why should it be in the musical, in the cultural landscape in Cameroon, where we have the influx of foreign music, then out there us do not sell?
So, Mangavenashus, would you blame them? Our media outlets, or you're blaming these foreigners? Because they are not the one imposing their songs on us.
I take it from two fronts. Our media outlet back home. Because when you see an artist, our guest is an artist. Ask how many of his, how many media outlets in Cameroon will conveniently take his song freely. But then we would take a song from Congo Democratic, from Senegal, from Nigeria. Do those artists pay? They don't. That is why I blame our local media outlets here. They don't valorize our own. Vanessa, is this concept that we believe that what comes from outside is better, is superior, is more than what we have. On the contrary, out there, what comes from outside is not better. That is why they maintain it. You remember we are saying that these artists sell the culture of their country. That is why it is part of their culture, part of their cultural heritage that they are already imposing. It is another cultural colonization that is happening in Africa, that is happening in Cameroon, where they are imposing it on our throat and we are just merely swallowing it without asking a question, what am I swallowing? So am I obliged to consume it? So I think that out there, it is a policy. You don't play local or foreign artists more than the local artists. That is what happens in out there. Those who have gone out there, they will tell you that you can spend the whole day in Ivory Coast, you can spend the whole day in Senegal without ever listening to Makossa. Can you spend 30 minutes following a media outlet in Cameroon here without having a foreign music? Is it that we don't have the content to take from back home? So I think that the blame comes from both ends. In as much as they want to protect theirs, they want to promote theirs, they want to relegate us into the background. On the contrary, we are instead relegating our own back home to in the background, promoting theirs, and downplaying us. I think that if we can play this kind of equality game, promote us home first, while theirs come in like a substitute. Theirs, they are promoting theirs out there, and ours is coming home as a substitute. I think that we can be playing a kind of a balanced game here. Let us also make it in such a way that, of recent, we had a foreign artist who was coming here to Cameroon, and just the cost of the ticket for going into this concert, people were asking the question, is this real normal life? But out there, is it what will happen? When we have occasions here, perhaps at high level, they are inviting foreign artists. There are local artists here. Fofidola said something about this local, companies where they have to invite an artist from outside. The cost that they pay is far more than the cost they would pay for an artist back home. So I think that if we give
meanwhile out there is the contrary, but some of the artists have related that when they go out they receive the same pay.
How many of them go out? For how long do they go out? That is where the problem lies. Because just once in a while that they will go out, and that may happen just once in a year. Because I remember I took the challenge that one artist, Cameroonian artist, Petit Pays, challenged most of this artists. Sell in Cameroon, valorize what you have in Cameroon. Because he was challenging them. Why do you go to Europe? How many of them can stay back home like him? Because Petit Pays will make 2 years in Cameroon and he is functioning and he is still selling and his beats are still going through in Cameroon. So the thing is, we need to, Vanessa, you asked a question for $50, what should we do? I think that in as much as we are claiming to sell our brand, our home brand, let us also produce something that is worth the competition. Because it is not like you just get up one morning, get into a recording studio and come out with something and expect people to listen. It will not sell. But when you listen, in those years, you will get the Bendekas, the
That is why you said, let us get maybe the Makossa rhythm
and modernize it. Let it stand the challenge. Yes, let it stand the competition. It will sell. When you went, I was saying those old names like the Bendekas, the Manu Dibangos, the
remember, I think it's Shakira. She once took this Zangalewa
and changed it into something, and it became an international hit song.
That is a bit from Cameroon. That is a purely Cameroonian song. Of course.
So, in as much as like Fofidola is saying, we take this, our take the Njang. Look at what Minstrel did. Take the Bikutsi, take the Makutsa, let it give it that international, modernize it, and it will be selling in those other countries too. Not trying to reproduce Nigerian melody calling it Makossa, then trying to reproduce the Coupe de Calais, calling it Njang or Bikutsi, Vanessa.
Thank you, Mange Fenashus. In the second question, does the presence of such foreign music having any impact in our cultural identity? Fofidola, back to you. How does the presence of this music impact or affect our cultural identity?
Yes, talking about cultural identity, I think we are gradually moving to Nigerian culture. That's I talk about Nigerian culture because that is what is really trading in Cameroon. We are gradually getting into Nigerian culture. When you see, and let me say now, nowadays, because everybody is always on YouTube to watch new vibes from Nigeria. Everybody is always like watching movies from Nigeria, all those stuffs. So Nigerian entertainment has just it has just covered the Cameroon industry in such a way that when you see slangs that the guys used to use on the street, they are like all those things we are now using, but Nigerian slangs, which is now gradually removing all our own slangs. Like you see, even on weddings, you see somebody who try to dress like a Nigerian, which is not called for. You see a Cameroonian trying to dress like a Nigerian, like I want to dress like this artist from Nigeria, I want to dress like this actress from Nigeria, all those stuff. So it is killing our culture. You see, many things in you see talking about like pidgin English that we use in the Anglophone side. You cannot. It's very rare. It is very rare now that you see somebody construct a pidgin language, a pidgin statement without using Nigerian tongue. So it is gradually killing our own culture, which is uncalled for. So I think if we can like reduce, because I've heard many people, especially this comedian CY, is actually fighting so much that we can even take 80% of Cameroon in music and 20% of foreign music, which to me is very pretty. It's very pretty. So if instead of banning the music, we can instead use that strategy to reduce the consumption of foreign music in Cameroon. In that way, we can also we will now build our own culture. We will now maintain our own culture than using other people's culture. Yeah.
We have an event coming up in Cameroon very soon. Could you talk to us or brief us about the event?
Yeah, this event is at Aqua Rolex Snack Bar. Yeah, this I was invited like an artist, you know. So this event is also that's the main artists are Cornelius and the Showboy. Those are my guys. So they invited me to be there. So I'm actually planning to to keep the deal on fire. Yeah. So it is on the 28th of this month. So 28th of this month, please just join us at the Rolex Snack Bar at Aqua. Let us bring in the Cameroon vibes and let's feel the Cameroon vibe in us.
Mangavena, choosing your point of view, you equally think that this foreign music has an impact in our cultural identity?
Of course, Vanessa, Fofidola said it all there. If when you look across our cultural activities now in Cameroon, we are practically reproducing what is happening in Nigeria. He cited the problem or the issue of cultural weddings, where you see the bride and the groom, they want to appear like, you know, in Nigerian kind of attire. That is what we call, because to them that is culture. Mm-hmm. The question we ask is, I am from So. How would Enso woman, Enso man dress? Mm-hmm. That is the question we should ask. You are from Meta, you are from Akum, you are from Bayangi, you are from Bakweri. How would somebody from your locality, how would the person address local or appear locally? It is not because you saw in one Nigerian movie where you saw the bride and the groom, they with some kind of beads and red beads and kind of dressing that you want to appear. That is not our culture. Vanessa, if you look at it, what is left of us now? I call it us Cameroon. Is perhaps the Bamenda gown that we now have. Mm-hmm. Besides that,
maybe that and their Togo.
At least and their Togo out of that, mm-hmm. Nothing is left. And even that, other countries are even getting into it. We have refused to maintain our own.
Anyway, we do a lot of copy and paste.
That is when you see the way a traditional wedding, you tend to ask the question: are these Cameroonians? Besides wedding, let me go into the dancing style. If you don't dance the way of a Nigerian, you are not dancing. And it has an impact even in our religious milieu. Vanessa, you need to tell you that if you don't pray in such a way that you storm heaven with prayers, powerful words, you were not praying. And some people, if you don't dress like the Igbo women, they will always dress, you are not going to church. I think that let us tend to worship God in our culture. Worship God with our culture. That is what the Catholic Church talks of inculturation, which means approach God as you are. Would God call you an Igbo? Would God call you somebody Fulani? God call you somebody from the north of Nigeria? No. God would look at me as a man. God will look at you as a woman from Akum. God will look at you as a woman from Bamonka, as a woman from Bayangi, from Bakweri. Mm-hmm. But then, when I appear like an Igbo man, no, that they will call you Igwe. Like he was saying, everything like Igwe, if you don't dance like a Nigerian woman would, you are not praying. So I think that let us be our culture. They say culture is our identity. That is why identifies us from. the other people.
And of course, we'll have to transmit it from one generation
to the other. And the question I'm asking is, what are we transmitting to our generation, or to the next generation? The Nigerian culture or our culture? I think that the impact on our culture is so much. In the long run, we will tend to regret what is happening. Now, that's why I think that we should stick on our own. Let us stick on what belongs to us, Vanessa.
Manga Venashus, it has been a pleasure having you. Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
And for $50, thank you very much for contributing in today's program. All this is in a bid to encourage Cameroonians, to encourage our media outlet to first of all promote what is us before bringing in other foreign music or other foreign culture. That said, we'll be transmitting it from one generation to the other, and so that is how we'll be able to propagate or advance the Cameroonian culture out of the national boundaries. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and take the rendezvous for tomorrow or some other time, and do stay tuned for programs continue on DBS television. Coming up immediately, we will be having the Prime Time Newscast with Cynthia Gribble. Goodbye.
Coronavirus is not an imagination or an invention. It is a real threat that spares no one. We are already counting so many casualties the world over. The situation is serious, and we individually have the choice to scrupulously